There are games that are simple, games that are deceptively simple, and games that are right away so complex you wonder if you want to get into them. Frostpunk feels like it tries to be the third type, but I cannot help the feeling that it is just the second type. Good day to and welcome, I'm Ian Balak and it's Frostpunk's review time. Long story short, Frostpunk is a nice colony management game focusing on survival elements and resource management. Unlike the majority of the competition, it also pushes you forward as you are always racing against time. The presentation is great, the production quality high, and the game itself has very minor problems. If you want to know more about the gameplay, then stay a while and listen. As mentioned, Frostpunk is a colony sim with heavy survival elements. You have a few different scenarios available, but you more or less always start with a small group of people who have to take care of their basic needs and gather basic resources. When compared to games like Banished, Settlement Survival or Against the Storm, Frostpunk's resource management focuses only on 6 resources: coal, wood, iron, raw food, food rations, uses of which are obvious, and steam cores, which are needed for advanced machinery. The basic goal could be summed up as: I have enough coal to power generator and get heat, have enough wood and iron to expand, have enough food to make people happy. This focus on small number of resources allows you to come up with strategies much easier, and it also allows the game to be much more easy to learn, and you don't have to come up with intricate solutions on how to get to the next upgrade, materials and so on. Simplicity of design runs throughout the game, and you never feel like you don't understand some mechanic. Of course, placement of buildings has some hidden depths, placement of workers as well. There are 2 things that have the potential to make each run significantly different. It's the tech tree and the book of adaptations. The tech tree is exactly what you would expect. You need workshops and engineers to work on the research, and the more workshops you have, the faster the research is done. The major differences to your gameplay come in the first 3 out of 5 tech levels, and the later ones are mostly about small upgrades. You can take up your heating, coal consumption, resource gathering speeds, or unlock better buildings and machinery. Once again, Tech Tree is simple, but it offers enough variability for your runs to be pretty different, just because of those. What will make your runs significantly different are laws. There are 2 different types of laws in the Book of Laws. Adaptation ones, which are more general and tend to heavily influence everyday aspects of life in your small, cold-plagued city. The second type is the purpose. You can either choose order or faith. These in general tend to keep people at bay and increase hope and decrease discontent. Yes, 2 other major resources are hope and discontent. If people are unhappy, they will overthrow you and banish you out of the city, for which you are willing to sacrifice them all. In every scenario, you are running against time. Exploring surrounding areas is as vital as advancing in technology and production, and finding the proper combination of all these above is the key to success. Also, knowing the scenario. Simply because sometimes the game doesn't indicate the following objective, and it is possible to mess up some objectives for completely good runs without actually knowing that your actions will do that. First runs are more or less impossible to complete with 100% accomplished, and without going theocratic or fascist dictatorship. The difficulty is spot on though. It is not that difficult on normal, and it is not that easy. Except for Winterhome. Screw Winterhome. All these gameplay aspects I mentioned are well done. The graphics are very nice and effective, yet seemingly simple. The sound is pleasant, but there is one song that reminds me too much of the main theme from 28 Days Later. Now let's talk about the negatives. The game is pretty heavy-handed with its message. 11-bit Studios brought us This War of Mine, and that game works so well when talking about the message it wants to convey. This is because you get personally attached to its characters, and you don't want them to suffer or even die. In Frostpunk, I don't really care. My people are numbers. Children are worthless, and to make yourselves feel better, you don't have to call them children, but mittens. and everything is easy breezy automaton squeezy. Yes, your machines can accidentally kill your people. The messages Frostpunk is trying to convey is much more general and much more in regards to the society as a whole. That is the reason why you won't have the strong personal attachment. The fact that the outro of the game, where they tell you what you did great and what was over the line, is just not working that well on the emotional level, at least after the first time you see it. In short, where this war of mine is full of anti-war messages and is itself an anti-war message, yet it doesn't state it immediately or it doesn't force it down your throat, Frostpunk has a hammer called message, and it beats you with it. It's not great. Another issue, or rather a pity, is that the game doesn't have a scenario editor. I can imagine that the previous problem could have been solved by the community that could try and create their own scenarios, own endings, and they might just work better. It's a shame considering the price of the game. As you heard, the game itself is good, because it has endless mode, different scenarios and high production quality. It has its minor issues, and the lack of scenario editor is a shame. If you have not experienced the game, you will probably enjoy it, and it is an experience. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.